Hey guys, Dr. Gerry Stanley here. Some of you may know me as the Chief Medical Officer for Cerner's Workforce Health Services, but I want to come to you today as the Chief Wellness Officer as we're all dealing with a lot of changes and uncertainty during this time in our country. Now, I know that we're all dealing with working at home, some of our states are on lockdown, and all of the changes that we're dealing with have us wearing many different hats right now. It used to be that I would go to work and I was just the Chief Medical Officer of the division. Now I stay at home and I get to be a husband and a dad, and I get to still be the Chief Medical Officer, but I'm also a preschool teacher. So instead of just going to work, I'm also working on that whole MNNOP part of the alphabet. We're learning how to spell names of our brothers. We've got a whole lot of things we're working on, like today's project of making the moon for the letter M. None of these were part of my daily routine several weeks ago. But all of that uncertainty, all of that change has a lot of people thinking, what's going on? How am I dealing with all this? But in the middle of all this, I'm really trying to find some magical moments. As a physician, I've never really had an opportunity to be at home with my child, to be able to go out in mid-afternoon and play baseball catch, to be able to sit down and have macaroni and cheese with them at lunch. So in the middle of all this uncertainty, I'm trying to find those magical moments that I can hang on to try to find some fun and some really good moments during this time. Now, as we're thinking about everything that we're dealing with, we're thinking about the uncertainty and what's going on and how long will these changes happen, a lot of us are having a hard time coming up with what do we want to call this. And I really want to frame this as we look at this as a form of grief. We've all experienced grief with the loss of a loved one or the loss of a job or the loss of a pet. And that loss really comes in the form of grief because we don't know what our tomorrow is going to look like. We just know that our tomorrow is going to be different than our today and different than our yesterday. And it's that uncertainty and that grief that will sometimes freeze us with fear, and it paralyzes us as we move forward. And that's what I want to do, is help us put a name to it so that we can start to identify it. And as we identify this grief, it's okay for us to say that this is our new normal. This is what the world is going to be like moving forward for a little bit. It's not going to be forever, but we do know that tomorrow is going to be different than yesterday. That doesn't mean it's going to be worse. That just means that it's going to be different. Now, I'm seeing coworkers all around the country do things different. I'm seeing people have virtual coffee breaks where they're getting on Skype or FaceTime and they're seeing their colleagues for a cup of coffee in the morning. I'm seeing other colleagues have virtual happy hours at the end of the day where they're still finding ways to engage while we're following all of our social distancing guidelines. But as we move through these changes, I want to really stress to everybody that we're going through this period of uncertainty and this period of grief together. Now, I've had talks with my teams, and I recommend that we try to find some routines as we move forward. There's a great book written by a Navy SEAL called Make Your Bed. And the whole point of the book is he tells everybody, get up in the morning and the first thing you should do is make your bed, because you're starting your day off with an accomplishment. You immediately get out of bed and have an accomplishment. It's so much easier to have accomplishment after that. So I'm challenging my teams, get up, have a routine. Get dressed. Don't stay in your jammies. Make sure you're getting up. As you're on these calls, turn your video on. Get to see each other. Engage with each other. I'm finding all kinds of giggling and happy moments as we're seeing kids come into screens. Frozen 2 is now out on Disney+, so everybody's seeing all the new Frozen songs. Learn who your coworkers' dogs are. See where they live. You can probably see my son's beta fish Lego behind me. These are the moments that we really don't get to experience in our day-to-day lives that I want you to find and embrace. Enjoy the humanity in all of us. This is tough for everybody, so let's enjoy it together and find those moments. As I want to wrap things up, I really want to say, find some normalcy in your life and understand that tomorrow's going to be different, so let's make tomorrow better. Find some healthy habits. Do some things for you. Get out and take a walk. Have some discussions with your spouse. Talk to your kids about things they like and don't like. Find those opportunities to say, you know what, I used to have a half-hour commute. I'm going to spend a half an hour with my kids, just talking, finding those moments that you can enjoy. So as we all go through this period of grief together, this is an opportunity for us to do it together and make tomorrow a better place. I look forward to chatting with you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.